What if the biggest change you've been waiting for doesn't look like a big change at all? What if the life you want, the health you crave, the success you dream about, isn't waiting at the top of some massive mountain, but hiding in a decision so small, so subtle, so ordinary, that you've overlooked it every single day? People often think transformation is loud, that it announces itself, that it comes with fireworks and fanfare, like some grand unveiling. But most of the time it comes quietly, silently, wrapped inside a habit so tiny it slips beneath your radar. A 10-second pause before reacting, a glass of water instead of soda, a smile instead of silence, a question instead of a complaint. We chase revolutions when evolution was all we ever needed. This is the story of the unseen 1%, the micro shifts that hold macro power, the daily, tiny nudges that, over time, reshape everything. Stick with me, and at the end of this video, you will be a changed person. You see, there's a problem we all share. We're addicted to the idea of the big fix, the overnight success, the full reset. We think, once I have time, I'll do it right. Once I have money, I'll finally start. Once I feel better, I'll commit. But the truth is, the bridge between where you are and where you want to be is built from 1% bricks, nothing more. The people you admire, the ones who seem calm under pressure, fit without obsession, focused without burning out, they aren't operating on superhuman energy. They're operating with small, consistent decisions most of us overlook. Let me take you into the quiet space where real change lives. Imagine a person trying to improve their health. They watch transformation videos, read books, maybe even buy gym gear. But it feels impossible. Then one day, they make a single shift. Not a 10-mile run, not a full diet plan, just a decision to drink water before coffee. It sounds meaningless, but it's not. That one act shifts their morning rhythm. The water wakes their system. They feel slightly more alert, so they decide to stretch for a minute. That stretch leads to a light walk. That walk leads to better breakfast choices. That choice leads to clearer thoughts. That clarity leads to a better workday. And soon, without realizing, they've rebooted their entire lifestyle, all from a glass of water. This is the 1% rule. It's not about doing everything. It's about doing something, small, repeatable, manageable, until it grows legs and walks you to your breakthrough. But here's the hard part. We ignore it. Why? Because small doesn't satisfy the ego. Small doesn't feel like progress. We're conditioned to applaud massive efforts, to see pain as proof. So we overlook the one thing that actually works. Think of a plane, just 1 degree off course. Over thousands of miles, that 1% deviation can land it in a completely different country. The same goes for your decisions. That tiny detour you take today, positive or negative, will determine where you land, not tomorrow, but next month, next year, maybe even the rest of your life. We often underestimate the power of time when mixed with intention. We're so focused on what we can do in a day, we forget what happens when we compound a tiny act every day for 100 days, 300 days, 1,000 days. Take a look at the world's most successful athletes. Most of them don't win because they push harder in the last 5 minutes. They win because they show up with consistency. Because when others were resting, they were polishing details no one else noticed. It's not the big wins that separate them. It's the unseen 1% tweaks that added up when no one was watching. And it's not just sports. Entrepreneurs, artists, parents, teachers, nurses, people like you, they experience breakthroughs because of small patterns done with focus and love. One of the most powerful things you can do is audit your day. Not to judge yourself, but to see where opportunity is hiding. What are you doing every day that drains you 1%? Is it a conversation? A choice of words, a late-night scroll session? And what are the habits that give you 1% back, even if they're tiny? Is it waking up 10 minutes earlier? Is it leaving your phone in another room during dinner? Is it taking 3 deep breaths before answering an email? These are your micro catalysts. These are the subtle changes that act as secret levers in your life. The truth is, change doesn't have to be painful. It doesn't require a breakdown. It doesn't require you to erase your past or overhaul your personality. Sometimes it just asks you to look again, to lean slightly differently, to speak a bit softer, to try one more time. The world we live in pushes extremism. Go big or go home. All or nothing. Win or lose. But that's not how real lives change. Real lives change when a tired parent decides to play with their child for 5 minutes longer. When a stressed-out worker chooses a walk instead of another scroll. When someone anxious about the future takes a moment to write down what they can control. Small doesn't mean weak. Small means sustainable. Small is where momentum begins. And that's the key, momentum. You don't need motivation to make a 1% shift. You don't need perfect conditions. You just need willingness. You just need to start and then stack. Habit stacking is one of the most overlooked tools for growth. It's simple. Take something you already do and attach a new, tiny habit to it. If you drink coffee every morning, stretch for 30 seconds after your first sip. If you brush your teeth at night, say one positive affirmation when you rinse. If you take the same route to work, use that time to learn a new language. These aren't major moves, but over time they change how you feel, how you think, how you show up in the world, and you begin to see yourself differently. Not as someone who's stuck or lazy or always behind, but as someone who adapts, evolves, improves. We're so quick to label ourselves. I'm not disciplined. I'm not consistent. I'm too old for this. But none of that is fixed. Identity is built on repeated behaviors. And if you change the behaviors, you change the story. But don't wait for a wake-up call to do it. Don't wait for the job to fall apart, for the relationship to break, for the health scare to arrive. The best time to shift is before life forces you to. Because these tiny acts build resilience. They become your armor. They train your nervous system to stay steady, your mind to stay clear, and your spirit to remain open, even when things get hard. Let me ask you something. What's your 1% today? What's the small act you can take? Right now that your future self will whisper, "Thank you for." Maybe it's choosing water instead of soda. Maybe it's writing down one goal instead of overthinking your whole year. Maybe it's speaking kindly to yourself after a mistake. Maybe it's setting a 5-minute timer to start a task you've been avoiding. Whatever it is, make it so small that your brain can't argue. That's the secret. You're not trying to impress anyone. You're just trying to start, and then keep going. And when you do that, something magical happens. You begin to notice other areas of your life shifting too. Your confidence grows. Your self-trust deepens. You start making better decisions not because you have to, but because it feels natural. That's the ripple effect of tiny wins. They multiply. You look back one day and realize the gap between who you were and who you are is massive, and yet you never made one massive move. You just showed up, quietly, steadily, repeatedly. There's a quiet kind of power in that, a dignity, a calm pride that doesn't need to shout. The world may never applaud your 1% shifts. No one may notice the small changes. But you will. Your mind will. Your body will. Your spirit will. Because even the smallest seeds, planted in the right soil, watered with intention, grow into forests. So here's the truth no one told you. Your life is not waiting for a revolution. It's waiting for a tiny decision. Start there and watch the rest unfold. Thank you for watching. This is Quiet Lanterns, and see you in the next video.